I'm going to start with a statement that may be slightly controversial, but I've done some critical reflection on how well we as a health and safety profession critically reflect on our practice. And I think there is massive room for improvement. In this video, I'll be explaining why I've come to that conclusion and how and why I think we need to address it. So to start with, we do need to do some critical reflection when we're submitting CPD activities or if we're looking to advance our membership to CMIOSH or to CFIOSH status, for example. Looking at the guidance around CPD, there is some expectation that when we submit an activity, we're going to reflect on what the learning has been, how we've put whatever we've learned into practice, strengths or areas for improvement that we might have identified, and so on. That seems to be the extent of the guidance available to us. So let's compare that to the Nursing and Midwifery Council. You type in reflective practice, you get 1,890 results. The very first one is a guide on reflective practice, how and why it should be done. And for nurses, they need to do 5 written reflective accounts and have a reflective discussion in order to be revalidated as nurses. I would suggest that reflective practice is very much baked into how nurses think about their profession and their practice. Compare that to the IOSH website, type in reflective practice, you get 4 pages of results, none of which really seem to have anything to do with reflective practice at all. Going back to the nursing world, the Royal College of Nursing also has a detailed guide around revalidation, emphasizing the point that reflective practice aligns with the code for nursing, and it goes into how you go about doing it, including a very helpful video. So talking codes of practice, the Irish Code of Conduct has a statement within it. There's like 3 references to reflect in the entire document. And one of them is talking about we need to reflect on all aspects of our professional activities to identify positive areas of practice that lead to new insights and so on. Further advice on how to maintain your CPD is available from IOSH. So let's have a look at the IOSH resource library. There's actually nothing in there if you type in reflective. So if you type in reflect, you end up on this leadership essentials page around critical reflection. This is from the Institute of Leadership. As you scroll down, there is this really useful model. They don't reference Driscoll, but this is the Driscoll model of reflection. What, so what, now what? Which is actually a very useful, helpful structure for critical reflection, which we'll come back to. As you could see for yourselves, compared to the world of nursing, we don't make it particularly easy for people to find guidance on critical reflection. I thought it'd be really interesting to see what the HSE has to say about reflective practice. Now, clearly they're not regulating our profession, they're regulating health and safety, but nonetheless, do they have a point of view on it? You type reflective practice into the HSE website, you get 79 results around high-vis clothing, working with display screen equipment, and so on. There's one publication related to laser lighting displays, and there's no research whatsoever. Now, on the subject of research, I thought I'd just check out what Google Scholar has to say. You type in reflective practice and nursing, and I thought I'd do a search over the last 20 years, and you end up with 54,700 results. If you do the same thing with health and safety, you end up with just over 8,000 results. So let's just compare those figures. 54,700 articles and so on looking at reflective practice in nursing compared to just over 8,000 in the world of health and safety. And you can narrow it down even further and look for reflective practice in the title of the document. When it comes to nursing, that results in 219 results. When it comes to health and safety, you've got 0 results. Nobody's put reflective practice and health and safety into the title of a research document, apparently. I do appreciate that that search that I just did is full of lots and lots of errors. We could have used lots of different search terms and search for those, the linking of reflective practice and health and safety or nursing in other parts of the document. But I think it probably illustrates the point that as a profession, we really aren't as sophisticated when it comes to critical reflection as other professions such as nursing. Okay, so to give us a meaningful structure for how we do reflections, I'd like to go back to the Driscoll model that we saw a little bit earlier. So there's 3 key questions, which were actually developed initially by somebody called Terry Boston back in the 1970s, and then Driscoll came in afterwards and added some more specific questions. So the key questions are what, so what, now what? So
the what is the basic details of the activity or the event that you're reflecting on. You could approach it in terms of who, what, where, when, and how, if necessary, being suitably anonymous. And this could be a chance to think about what some of the immediate results or outcomes were of that activity. So the so what in this case could be maybe thinking about what inspired you to write that article? What did you want to achieve by writing it? And to what extent do you think you've met those goals, aims, objectives? What did you maybe learn from writing it? So, in the process of researching it, did you come across facts or information that really expanded your horizons that you weren't previously aware of? You could reflect on the impact that this article has had on other people. For example, if there's been a lot of engagement with it in terms of comments and discussion, I'm not just talking about a few thumbs up because you put a cat meme out on the internet, but there's been some genuinely interesting, insightful discussion. That would probably be worth discussing as part of this reflection. It may be that some of those comments have supported what you had to say, may have reinforced some of your existing beliefs, but perhaps have added new depths or insights, or giving you completely different points of views and radically challenged your take on the subject. And finally, the now what is what difference is this activity going to make for you moving forward? So, for example, it could be that in the process of researching and writing this article, it's revealed gaps in our knowledge and understanding. We may need or want to go off and plug those gaps using further CPD activities. It could be that it's revealed a hunger for more information about this topic within our health and safety community. Perhaps that could lead to further articles or even webinars, CPD activities that you could be leading on in order to provide this information to the community. I'm going to leave it there. I hope that you found this an interesting 10-minute-ish presentation, let's call it. I think, I've convinced myself doing it. This is my critical reflection that really, our profession isn't as robust in terms of how we support and encourage critical reflection compared to, for example, the nursing profession. If you feel you do want to sharpen up your own approach to it, I would strongly suggest that you go and look at the Driscoll model. It's readily available online, and maybe start to structure your next CPD activity on blueprints using this particular structure. I welcome any comments, suggestions, ideas. Please do get in touch through LinkedIn or email. Hopefully our paths will cross at some point in the future. But for now, goodbye.